Arsenal are seemingly plotting a move for Brentford's Christian Norgaard. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around the big news that has broke this morning in regards to Arsenal Football Club and their pursuit of another midfielder. With Martin Zubimendi already through the door, it seems that Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have now turned their attention to another midfielder in the form of Christian Norgaard, the Danish midfielder, currently, of course, at Brentford. We're going to be talking about the potential of this move, what David Ornstein has said about it, and everything else in between. But before we go any further in discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about this potential transfer story. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure it'll make for great and interesting reading. So please do get involved down below. Use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this story. And without further ado, we'll get on with the conversation ourselves. We're talking Arsenal, Norgaard, and everything else in between. So, the story broke this morning from one David Ornstein, who took to social media to say this: Arsenal exploring deal to sign Christian Norgaard from Brentford. Arsenal proposal for 31-year-old midfielder is 11 million euros, and they are awaiting Brentford's reply. Denmark international contracted until June 2027, but keen among options amid potential Partey exit. And that's the big key. That's the big part of this, is that Thomas Partey, the negotiations there between Arsenal and the player seem to have stalled. He's going to leave a big void at Arsenal, and it seems that it's going to be filled by this man right here in Christian Norgaard. Now, I know a lot of Arsenal fans may not exactly be too excited by this news. This news isn't exactly groundbreaking, it's not earth-shattering, it's not monumental, it's not exactly a statement signing. But in my opinion, it is an efficient signing. It is a smart piece of business, in my personal opinion, as I will go on to explain. This is a player who is 31 years of age. So he's not going to be for the long-term future. He's pretty much a stopgap for the next year or 2 years. But he is a viable, decent option for the immediate future. Especially when you consider that maybe Arsenal are looking to put more money elsewhere into areas of their squad that need strengthening more as a higher priority, for example. Like the striker situation, like the winger situation, as prime examples. So for a stopgap sort of signing of 1 or 2 years, for a player that is efficient, for a player that is experienced and of course is a leader on the pitch, this is not a bad signing at all. Then you go into what the player possesses, like his skills, his attributes and all of that kind of stuff. And Christian Norgaard is a player that has got an absolute engine on him. Like, he could run for days. He's got an absolute engine within him, of work rate of the highest regard. He is very physical, loves a challenge. He's efficient on the ball as well. This is just overall a very efficient signing. A very, very efficient signing in my personal opinion. Look, he's not the most shiniest name out there. He's not going to exactly raise the bar for Arsenal. He's not exactly going to lay down a marker and lay down a statement, of course. We all know what he is. And let's face it, for 11 million euros, which is pretty much, of course, round about roughly £9 million, I think, it's not a bad signing for a year or two. It really is not a bad signing for a year or two. I think this is a very efficient signing, a very smart piece of business for a player who, like I say, has got Premier League experience and leadership skills, and obviously has been with Brentford since 2019. So he's been there for a good 6 years now, seeing obviously Brentford rise with Thomas Frank, of course. It just makes sense to me. It just makes sense as maybe the options for midfield aren't exactly it's maybe not exactly like a deep pool of talent and quality in the central midfield area beyond Martin Zubimendi, or at least trying to replace what you're going to be missing with Thomas Partey. So bringing in a player who is not going to be on Thomas Partey's level, but someone that can fill a gap, someone that can at least fill a void temporarily, and someone that can obviously add squad depth to that midfield position as well, is definitely something that I think is worthwhile for Arsenal. He's not going to obviously tip the scales of the Premier League in their favour, I don't think. But as far as, like I say, being decent on the ball goes, as far as what doing all the dirty stuff goes in terms of the physical element of the game, and in terms of pressing, and in terms of keeping things ticking over, as well as, like I say, his leadership skills, his work rate, both defensively and offensively. Like, this, in my opinion, is a very good signing. I think it is a very, very good signing for Arsenal. I think it does work well. I think he does blend in well with what Mikel Arteta will probably want and ask of him. And like I say, as far as what squad depth goes, to cover for Zubimendi, to cover for Declan Rice, maybe from time to time, to come in with like 20 minutes to go and shore things up in what could be tight games and tight situations and scenarios that Arsenal might find themselves in across the season, to guide some of the younger players, to obviously use his experience and leadership skills. I can't see this failing. This is not a bad signing whatsoever. Some Arsenal fans may not necessarily agree. Some Arsenal fans may be out there crying for a statement signing, a needle mover, that kind of thing. But sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes you just need efficient, consistent players like Christian Norgaard here. And that is exactly what I think Arsenal are crying out for at times. And I personally believe that this is a very smart signing. Like, not the best, not star-studded, but a smart signing, an intelligent piece of business, a shrewd piece of business for at least the next 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3 years of him being a squad player, rotated in and out, and of course can be brought on with about 20 minutes or so to go to add experience. It does go a little bit against what Arsenal obviously go for in terms of the younger kind of or the younger age range of player that they normally tend to look at, but this is what they're going to be lacking. They're going to be lacking leadership. They're going to be lacking experience. Thomas Partey seems to be leaving. Jorginho's already left. So you need someone to fill those kinds of that kind of criteria, because that's going to be lacking. And in my opinion, Christian Norgaard is going to be someone that, in my opinion, fills those particular aspects and specification of what Arsenal are going to be needing in that midfield. Because Declan Rice can't do it all on his own, and let's face it, and I hope it doesn't happen. Obviously, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but let's say the worst was to happen and Rice was to get injured or suspended or whatever, then Arsenal would be lacking even more so in terms of leadership and experience and all of those kind of qualities and attributes and characteristics. So Norgaard, for me, smart piece of business, not exactly a needle mover, not exactly something that's going to get you out of your seat, but something that is definitely going to be needed at Arsenal. Maybe the signing that Arsenal need, but maybe not want, but sometimes that can be the more effective and efficient signing when it comes down to the transfer window. But let me know what you guys think. Of course, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Christian Norgaard and a potential move to Arsenal being on the cards this summer, as reported by the likes of David Ornstein and followed up by the likes of Fabrizio Romano? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling down below in the comment section. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on this potential transfer story. Would love to know what you guys have to say, because I'm sure it'll make for great and interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening, and thank you all for your either brand new or continued support to the channel, whichever one it is. It really does mean the world to me, guys, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough, and it will always be appreciated and never taken for granted. So you guys are amazing, and I cannot thank you enough. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. I will see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.